thank you for being there.
Yeah, that's a pleasure.
Um, so I will try. Please be a little patient because my English is not so good.
It
It's not
sounds
my.
really good to me. So, but yeah, sure, we can take the time and we can do it slowly.
Okay, so I will try to express quickly a
Yeah,
little bit of my latest experiences.
yeah,
Uh, just really quickly, I had like four major experience, spontaneous, because I never did yoga, meditation, or I was not, I am not spiritualized, like involved with spirituality. So it was very disorganizing for me, for my personality, because I had no reference to it. And from this first one, which was energetic experience, like in the dawn, like in bed, like between sleep. So I woke and felt this huge waves, like of energy through my body,
yeah.
and with many qualities of it, like cold or like burning cold, and they were very disorganizing to the mind because I couldn't think, and words stop making any. I lost touch with words and meanings, and I couldn't be like, I couldn't filter the experience with myself. So I was struggling with so much fear, like terrifying fear. But then at some point, I just let go the that that necessity of, I don't know, the clinch, the attachment to having control of it. So I lost control, and it was like going to sleep after. So when I woke up again from this first one, I could like recollect or remember some of it that happened in that like nothing state, and it was very geometric. I remember some circles, and um, it's very difficult to put in words. So after that, I was like 4 days, and my sense of my perception changed completely. Like all my body was lighter, and was like, it's all my cells have this charge, like they are all charged, and they weren't before, with energy, like with all warm and like
Yeah.
all the time. Like it's just, it's permanent. So and my vision, like my eyes, they can see stuff, and they can unsee stuff. So if I, with open eyes, I just relax my sight, object starts to disappearing, like well, just some effects I'm naming, just for you to can like be situated. So um, the sense of an I and me was there after this one, and then well, it took long to explain this one, so I will like jump to the fourth one, which was like 5 days ago. So in that one, I think it's what you guys, all the internet and everyone calls awaken, because I can find well, it was amazing because it was like completely freedom of this place that I imagined I was locked in. And when I when now when right now I'm tuning into my body mind system, it's just this huge layers of patterns and memories and imagination, thoughts. It's like there's nothing more like claiming like um, like like an advantage claim point. Uh, so it feels free because everything that is inside my body and mind and imagination and memory, it's just like the same, because they are just like some like everything else, like the objects or what I can see and the table and the air, like it's the expression of everything. So there is not like um, I can't even remember how it was, but I'm just happy because this feels so good. So,
Yeah, nice.
so good.
And what is your objective in telling me this? Like, I'm really happy for you that you've
Yes,
had all these like shifts and stuff, but
yeah,
just because
yeah,
like we have quite a few people listening and they
yeah,
most probably
yeah,
like want to get to something.
yeah. I wanted to share because this is the first time I'm telling this to anyone, and
Now you're like telling, so you're telling it one time, but you're telling it to like about 1,000 people maybe.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
your 1,000th time as well.
Yeah, I just I felt the interaction. This all came to me like synchronistic way. You and so I just was recollecting it to get to the point where I could like ask a question
Yeah,
in a context.
yeah.
So
And it's
uh,
beautiful. I'm so happy that that
okay,
all happened to you. Like it is really beautiful, these awakenings. And they're
yeah,
very personal. Like everybody's
yeah,
awakening is really different. But it's like really ecstatic. Like you realize and you experience things that you didn't know were possible. So I really get that excitement. I'm not meaning to like put it down. Like it's really
okay, thank you. Yes, I
like
just
party poppers.
yeah, I couldn't name it, and so I start like searching for reference. So I found you. I,
Yeah.
I I I didn't even know what to search for
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
the words. And now I'm navigating with all these many people in the world, and there's Buddha and non-duality and such fresh words, and it's all beautiful. But okay, so I'm getting to the question, but I'm really grateful to you for being there, and and grateful for this interaction,
Yeah.
no matter
Nice.
the question.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so um, the personality structure seems to me like this huge amount of many patterns, like informational patterns, like conditioning, like millennia. I don't know, like many time more than millennia, like forever. So to get to this point when everything is like getting together in a body, in a human body, and we ask like, okay, I have to have relations with my mother and and partner and father and family and society and my work. And now my question is related to what you were trying to discuss before, but I want to like put something more to it. So in the subject of
I
healing,
just feel like when you say you're just going to put a little bit more to it, like
yeah,
I just
like
feel a little conscious of everybody listening. Hang on, just let me see if that's true actually.
okay,
Like just one second, let me check it with myself.
okay, okay,
Like it
okay.
just brings up a little bit of like discomfort in my body when you said that. So I just see what's happening.
More, oh, sorry,
One
maybe
second. No,
it
it's okay. Just give me a second and I'll see if I can get to the root of what's
okay.
going on with me. Yeah, I feel like if we were in a one-to-one session, I would let you go for it and I would let you say everything you want to say because like it's you know, it's your personal experience and it's beautiful and I don't want to disvalidate it, like I don't want to take that away from you. But just because we're not in a one-to-one session, we're in a live stream with lots of people watching, I just become conscious of the length of the question for people. Like it sometimes can be difficult for people to listen to very long questions and not get to it. It's not for me. Sometimes it is for me, but so if you could just like
I was in the edge of the question.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sorry. I said like more. It was the wrong word. It was just I want to put a question like in the top of the question that was already made. So it's just I was just asking a question when you stopped.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the more essential question would be like, what is memory, and how can we decondition like whatever pattern we get in touch with. So I would bring this more like to your experience because there is no answer to everyone. So because it's fascinating to me, this question, like we have a trauma, I have like this fight and flight condition and pattern. So my body, when you stopped me and said uncomfortable words, was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I think that would be for a lot of people. It's quite hard to do this, like with lots of people watching.
Yeah, and so, oh my God, I'm doing it wrong. So the child comes up, oh, I'm blah, 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 blah. So the body mind comes with the memory. So the memory is so unphysical and yet is so strongly felt in every parts of the body, right? So my question is, awareness can like shed a light in everything, like loving and true. So what do you feel it for you, like in your experience, how can we decondition the personality, like the trauma or dysfunctional memory patterns?
Yeah, that's really nice. I would say that, like back to your first question, like what is memory? Like that's so fascinating. It's like it's like something that arises in the physiological body and it doesn't seem to have a starting point. So even though you could say that the body has like a starting point when it's born, it seems like we have information in our body that goes back right to the beginning of time. So not only do we have like the memories of this life and the information from our parents and the information that we've learned at school, there's also like a deeper genetic information that we know that is in all of us. But there's this really amazing film called Lucy, and I just really loved like this idea. I don't know if you've ever seen it. In the film, it's like has this idea of accessing all her brain, and that she could access like all memory, kind of going back to the beginning of time, and it's really beautiful. I don't think that we have the possibility for that in this life, but I do feel like our body has so much memory in it, like so much information. And so then the next question, and so to me, memory kind of in a way comes from everything. Like it comes from everything that's ever happened, and we hold it in our body, in our cells, in our DNA. And it's happening so instantaneously, our memory. So right now, like the ability to comprehend what I say, like the ability to know that you're sitting in this room, like all of that's memory.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
consciousness, like our true essence, doesn't need memory in order to function, but it's watching memory, so it's watching this experience.
yeah.
So, and then the recondition of it, I think my main way of reconditioning me personally for myself, and it's something that I still do and I find very effective, is that you go down to the feeling in the body. So, say
Yeah.
if you're having trauma, like, you know, when I stopped you, like it's going, you know, like you have that adrenaline. Like if you wanted to
Yeah.
explore that, you go into where you felt that in the body.
Yeah.
So, say the adrenaline started and then you felt like a kick in your heart area.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you put your attention into the heart area and you begin to ask what the heart says. Like, so what is it that my heart is saying now? Like, and you begin to let
Like
it
with
speak.
words or
Yeah,
just
you,
energetically, like where energy wants to go, what it wants to do, or with
yeah,
words like and meanings, like
yeah.
meanings.
With first, I would go into the energy. So I would go into like the feeling, like what, like really putting your attention into that
Yeah.
feeling, the contraction, the energy of it, and then I would begin to let words and memory come. So it's
Okay.
like finding what words exist there. So it's like, so what words vibrate with that energy? And so
Okay.
maybe like if I just did it quickly with you, maybe it's like I'm not being heard, or I'm not being listened to, or people don't love me, or people think I'm stupid, or I got it wrong, or I did something bad. So it's
Yeah.
in putting words to it and kind of getting to know the story, then
Yeah.
bringing images in. So where did I hear that before? So I heard it from my boyfriend when he speaks to me about technology, or I heard it from my parents when I was growing up, or it's my dad's temper, or it's my mum's voice. So putting it to images and memories of when you've experienced that in the past, and letting
Yeah.
the energy build. Like sometimes it will decrease, but letting the energy build and just feeling it and just becoming comfortable with it, just to
Yeah.
becoming comfortable with that discomfort. And then at some point when you're ready, tell yourself the opposite story. So the
Okay.
story is saying to itself, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm stupid. So it's then telling yourself the opposite story, like,
Yeah.
I am intelligent, I am lovable, I am clever, people love me, people accept me, people want to hear me, I am listened to, I am loved. And then you can even think of scenarios, fantastical, so imaginary
Yeah.
scenarios,
Imagination.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can think of experiences that you've actually had where you
To
felt
validate.
loved, like where you
Yeah.
felt heard, where you,
Right.
or imagining it. So imagining like who you'd want to listen to you. So maybe you imagine like Muji, or you imagine like the Buddha listening to you. And it's basically turning that energy into the opposite energy. So it's like, to
Okay.
me, that's like a reconditioning, and that's my go-to technique. There
Yeah.
is other techniques like breathing techniques and other
Yeah. Yeah.
techniques which I also think are helpful. But to me, that's my go-to technique, and that's what I've used for years. And I do it now, like if I have a difficult energy. And so, like with you, like when we were talking, like after a while, I began to feel like a little bit of like discomfort, like not because you did anything wrong, not, it's nothing to do with you, you were just doing your flow. And I felt a bit of discomfort, and so then there was an urge in me to say something, but I wasn't exactly sure what my discomfort was about, so I just asked you to give me a moment, and then I checked in with my body, and I asked my body, what's uncomfortable here?
Yeah.
And it was because there was two energies. There was, if I was in a one-to-one session with you, there was like part
Yeah.
of me
Yeah.
that felt like you just wanted to express yourself and be heard, and there's part of me that was happy to do that. But because I was aware that there was other people listening and that's not exactly the right place for it, there was
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
bit of conflict. And then I expressed that, and then the energy in me passed.
Yeah.
Like so, and
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if it hurt
No,
you.
don't be
It
sorry.
wasn't
I
my
totally
intention, but I also
understood you.
understand that
Yeah. Yeah, it was
it
important
hurt.
to me because I was really uh trying to get like quickly,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
it
totally.
didn't work because I
Yeah,
just talked too much. But that part when I said, "Oh, I want to put more to it," oh
yeah,
my God, it was the wrong words.
yeah, yeah,
And
totally.
I completely understood you, and
Yeah,
there was no, uh, I mean, it was, everything made sense to
Yeah,
me.
and there's just this little adrenaline. So it's like when you get in that situation. So I've been in that situation. My partner sometimes tells me that I've overtalked in situations, like if I'm a little
Yeah.
bit nervous or something. Um, I don't always notice that I'm doing it, and so when they tell you, like there's maybe like a little bit of a kick, and then it's like that's just a feeling. Like really, I or you have done nothing wrong. It's just
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
response. It was what we were taught in childhood. It's what we know. And in the
Yeah.
end, our deepest goal is always to connect, not just you, but everybody in the human level. Like we want to connect, we want to be in loving relationships, we want to feel good with each other. And everybody's trying to do that, even if they end up screaming and shouting at someone, that's actually their goal. And when you
Yeah.
reconnect with that, so my partner says, "Oh, you overtalked in that," or you, you, yeah, that's what he says that to me sometimes. There's like the little kick, and then there's a coming back to like what I really want is to connect with people. There's a knowing that a defense arose, and seeing that and being honest with it. Yeah, and there's a good chance I did overtalk. I'm not sure. So just holding that, like you can't always tell when you've ever talked because it's finished. But there's a holding that, and there's an openness to that's what you've done, and then there's like the connecting to what I wanted on the deeper level is not to hurt anyone or not to bombard
Yeah.
anyone. It was like I wanted to connect.
Yeah.
Like that's what we
Yeah.
really want, and that's really beautiful when you come down to that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, with your partner, and here goes another question, but you can like just don't answer it or end the call. But how non-duality, like the detached non-awareness, relates with like having a partner
Yeah,
in the lens of attachment, like
yeah,
how this goes for you, this dance.
yeah. I feel like if we begin to talk about this, then I might cross boundaries with my partner. You know, like
Okay,
so
okay. But
so he
maybe
might not.
mother or anyone, like, or maybe just in general mode, like when someone have a close relation, and
Yeah,
how the attachment, how can we navigate through healthy attachment,
yeah,
uh, like not being like, like
yeah. Totally. Yeah, it's a great
being like
question. Yeah,
clinched, but
yeah,
everyone, like
yeah.
everyone.
And just to go back to my partner, I've I've talked about him on live streams before, and like it's something that I aspire not to do because it's his
Yeah,
personal experience, but
sure.
I do forget sometimes. So I've just
Okay.
remembered this time that I'm not to do that. I'm with my
Okay.
family and everybody. But when you are a live streamer or you do something on the internet, it's sometimes hard to not talk about
Yeah,
people. Like so you can imagine, you end up slipping
sure, sure.
into doing it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really great question, and I think it's just learning about what it is you want and what it is you feel. So, like having a secure sense of self, and a secure sense of self is knowing what you want and what you don't want, and then learning how to communicate that. So, there's on my reference page, there's a psychologist under the psychologist section called Dr. Kirk Honda, and he's like a relationship psychologist. And
Yeah.
he on YouTube, what he does is he watches reality TV, but then he talks about the best ways to relate and attachment theory. And this is really great way to learn about how to communicate with your partner. And to me, it's like a tendency which I've done in the past, and I'm sure a lot of people that have awakening to do is not to use non-duality as an excuse to fall into old patterns or to allow your patterns. So my pattern tends to be a bit of an avoidant personality, and I
Okay.
know that I can use non-duality to be a bit avoidant. And so it's just knowing that and bringing that into consciousness, and and allowing your partner, your friends, your family to call you up on that. So
Wow.
expressing it to them, telling them that that's a tendency, and if they see you doing it, like they can call you up on it, which is great. One way to do it, and then also just learning, like watching, paying attention to interactions, like reading these types of books of how to communicate, and just being really present to what your body's saying. And that's an endless process. Like we can endlessly
Yeah.
evolve to be better people. like better integrated.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
that's it for
Yeah, thank
today.
you
Thank
so
you. I'm
much for your
so
question.
happy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm so happy to hear about your awakening. It's so beautiful when these things happen. Like you tend to like excuse the
Yeah,
language, but when it
I have
like
I
happened to
have
me, I
no
was
one
like,
to talk
holy fuck,
about
yeah,
this, like
yeah,
no one at all. So
yeah.
I'm just searching people to talk about it.
Yeah, totally. And it's really beautiful. It really is like life changing, and you just can't
Yeah.
believe that life could be so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and I'm
Pleasure.
sorry everyone if I talked too much, but okay, so we are all in love, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, nice. Yeah, lots of love. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Yeah, sweet. Nice.